In the next 90 days, half the people watching this video will quit something important to them, a goal, a habit, a dream, and they will call it a motivation problem. Here is the evidence and what to do right now. Stanford behavioral scientist B.J. Fogg published research showing that motivation is the least reliable driver of consistent action. Not willpower, not discipline, motivation. The number one thing self-help culture tells you to chase is statistically the worst thing to rely on. So why does every productivity guru, every morning routine video, every inspirational reel tell you to find your why and stay motivated? Because it sells. But here is what is actually happening inside your body when you stare at your to-do list and feel absolutely nothing. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are running on empty, biologically, neurologically, measurably, and nobody told you. Today, that changes. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why your motivation disappears, what your body is actually trying to tell you, and the three-principle framework that replaces motivation with something that actually works. Stay with me. This is the video that makes you feel ahead of everyone still blaming themselves. Here is what the self-improvement industry gets catastrophically wrong. It treats motivation like a character trait. You either have it or you do not. And if you do not, you need more of it. Another podcast, another vision board, another dopamine-soaked hype video at 5 a.m. But motivation is not a trait. It is a state, and states are temporary. Neurologist Andrew Huberman has talked extensively about how dopamine, the molecule most associated with motivation, depletes in direct proportion to how often you spike it artificially. Every time you watch a hype video to get yourself going, you are borrowing energy from tomorrow. Every time you force yourself through a 2-hour work session on 4 hours of sleep, you are withdrawing from an account that has a limit. The research is blunt. A 2021 study in the journal Nature Reviews Neuroscience confirmed that decision fatigue, cognitive depletion, and circadian misalignment are the three leading causes of what people label as low motivation. Not attitude, not ambition, biology. And yet the advice you keep getting is to push harder, wake up earlier, and do a cold plunge. That is not a solution. That is a different kind of depletion. The reason most approaches fail is simple. They are trying to solve an energy problem with a mindset fix. You cannot think your way out of a neurological deficit. You need a different framework entirely. The framework is called the Energy First Protocol. 3 principles, no hype, no toxic positivity, just applied biology that works with your nervous system instead of against it. This framework is built on one foundational truth. Your brain does not need more motivation. It needs more context. Context about when it is ready to perform, what it needs to sustain focus, and how to stop mistaking biological signals for personal failure. Each principle addresses one of the 3 root causes identified in that Nature Reviews study: decision fatigue, cognitive depletion, and circadian misalignment. You're going to recognize yourself in all 3, and that recognition alone is going to shift something for you. Because when you understand the mechanism, you stop blaming the person. You start fixing the system. That is the entire game. Systems beat willpower every single time. Neuroscientist David Eagleman said the brain is a prediction machine. It is constantly running simulations of future states. When your system is broken, your brain predicts failure before you even start. Fix the system, change the prediction, change the behavior. Here is how. Principle 1. Stop scheduling your day around time and start scheduling it around energy. This is the single biggest shift you can make right now. In 1953, sleep researcher Nathaniel Kleitman, the same scientist who discovered REM sleep, identified a biological cycle called the ultradian rhythm. Every 90 to 120 minutes, your brain moves through a full arc of high focus to low focus. At the peak of each cycle, your prefrontal cortex is primed, your dopamine is flowing, and you are neurologically built for deep work. At the trough, your brain literally produces signals asking you to rest. Micro-drowsiness, loss of concentration, yawning. Here is what you do instead. You pour another coffee, ignore the signal, and push through. And then at 3 p.m. you wonder why you cannot string 2 thoughts together. That is not laziness. That is you working against a 70-year-old scientific discovery. The fix is not complicated. You identify your 2 or 3 daily peak windows, typically 90 minutes to 2 hours after waking, and again about 7 hours after waking for most chronotypes. And you protect those windows like they are the most important meetings of your life. Because neurologically they are. Everything else, emails, admin, passive tasks, fills the troughs. When you align effort with energy, you are not trying harder. You are working smarter at the cellular level. Principle 2. Decision fatigue is draining your motivation before you even start. In 1998, social psychologist Roy Baumeister published landmark research showing that self-control and decision-making draw from the same finite cognitive resource. Every choice you make, from what to eat for breakfast to which task to start first, depletes that resource. By the time you sit down for your most important work, Principle 3, and this one is going to challenge you, restoration is not a reward. It is a prerequisite. The cultural narrative around high performance is built on a dangerous lie. That rest is what you earn after you produce. Grind first, recover later. But your nervous system does not operate on a reward model. It operates on a resource model, and when the resource is gone, performance degrades regardless of how badly you want to succeed. In 2004, a landmark study by the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research tested cognitive performance in subjects restricted to 6 hours of sleep for 2 weeks. Their performance declined as sharply as subjects who were kept awake for 24 hours straight. The terrifying part? The 6-hour group did not feel impaired. They adapted to their degraded baseline and called it normal. Sound familiar? You have normalized depletion. You have mistaken exhaustion for your default state. And every morning you wake up tired and reach for caffeine to skip the restoration signal. You push the debt forward one more day. The fix here is non-negotiable. 7 to 9 hours of sleep for adults, per the American Academy of Sleep Medicine. 1 deliberate recovery window midday, even 10 minutes of non-sleep deep rest using methods like Yoga Nidra, and strategic exposure to natural light within 30 minutes of waking to anchor your circadian clock. These are not lifestyle suggestions. They are performance infrastructure. Here is where it clicks. These 3 principles are not independent hacks. They are a biological chain. Restore first, sleep and recovery, and your ultradian rhythms sharpen and become predictable. When your rhythms are predictable, you can map your energy windows accurately. When your energy windows are mapped, you know exactly when to deploy your one anchor task. And when that single task gets done at peak cognitive capacity, with minimum decision friction beforehand, you do not need motivation. You have built a system that generates its own momentum. This is why the people you admire, the ones who seem to have bottomless drive, are not more motivated than you. They have better systems than you, and systems are learnable. The curiosity loop we opened at the start of this video was this: why does your motivation disappear even when the goal matters deeply to you? Now you have the answer. It disappears because it was never the variable. Energy was. Decision load was. Restoration was. Motivation is the symptom of a well-tuned system, not the cause of one. Stop chasing the symptom. Build the system. Before you close this video and immediately try to overhaul your entire life, and I know some of you are already writing the 14-step plan, let me save you from the 3 most common mistakes people make when applying this framework. Mistake 1. Trying to implement all 3 principles on day 1. That is a decision load problem disguised as ambition. Pick one principle, apply it for 7 days, then layer the next. Start with sleep. It affects everything downstream. Mistake 2, treating your energy map as permanent. Your ultradian peaks shift based on sleep quality, stress load, season, and age. Reassess every 4 to 6 weeks. If you are tracking your energy patterns and it feels like guesswork, this is exactly the moment I want to mention something genuinely useful. There is a journaling app called Reflect that has an energy tracking feature built specifically for logging your daily peak and trough windows. I have been using it for 90 days, and the pattern data it surfaces is legitimately eye-opening. Link is in the description. And if you want to go deeper on structuring your work around ultradian rhythms, there is a focused course called Peak Performance Architecture by Dr. Tara Swartz' team that lays out the science in a practical 30-day format, also linked below. Mistake 3, confusing a bad day for a broken system. One depleted day is data, not destiny. The system works over weeks, not hours. Give it time. You started this video thinking you had a motivation problem, and now you know the truth. You had an energy problem, a decision load problem, a restoration problem, and nobody told you because nobody profits from you fixing those things with sleep and a calendar audit. In the next 90 days, if you apply even one of these principles consistently, you will not recognize the version of yourself from today. That was the prediction. And unlike motivation, biology does not lie. If this video shifted something for you, even one reframe, one moment of recognition, hit the like button right now. It takes 2 seconds and it tells the algorithm that this kind of research-backed, hype-free content is worth spreading. Subscribe if you want the rest of the framework. Next week, we are going into the neuroscience of habit stacking, specifically for people who have failed at habits before. And yes, there is a biological reason that happens too. Drop in the comments. Which of the 3 principles are you starting with? I read every single one. Go build the system. The motivation will follow. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and motivational purposes only. Results vary. Nothing constitutes professional psychological advice.